أهلا بطاق. I'm gonna go offline for a second and I'm gonna have to fix something, okay? And I'll be back. Which is not optimal. How's the if you can hear me, how's the picture? Is it good?
You know what I've learned about you? There's enough life on Earth to fill 50 planets. Plants, animals, people, fungi, viruses, all jostling to find their place, bouncing on each other, feeding on each other, connected.
Alrighty. Let's do this. I think this one is still actionable. Stop loss right below here. Even though it's a little late. It's a nice pullback. Let's look at the FANG stock. Square. Nothing wrong with it. All good. Square. Fair and square. Pullback. We don't want to close below that low. If it does close below that low, we might see a lower low and retest of its previous resistance. Nvidia cup and a handle. You don't want to go below that low right there. Baba. Baba looks good. Almost no pullback, except that day. Facebook, it's good right there. Actionable on this day. Put a stop loss right below there. Netflix, not so good. Yeah, not so good. LOG, Google's pretty good. Good entry point right there. Stop loss below that, below the 1525. MasterCard and Visa holding up. PayPal, like I said yesterday, I would be careful right here. Microsoft, no man's land. Tesla, I'll be careful if it breaks below that trend line here. It won't be so good. Apple not looking good. Filled the gap and still going lower. We have a flag right there. Came back right to that. level. We want to break the top of that candle. That one. Fetch. Cloud. Financials, communication services, retail. New rule. No rules, man. All rules rule. New rules. New rules. GFI. Yeah. This is the best one so far. Best stock so far. Good entry right there. Good entry. eating time of the clock. Probably fill this gap. T-Doc. Video. Acting weak. See, we closed below that day. Here. Right there. Close below it, that's weakness. I'm expecting it to go down a bit more. Stock closed below the 8 and the 20. 21 and stayed below it for like 3 days now. So I'm expecting it to go lower. Yeah, buddy. ALGN. CHGG. Stream button returns. Blue line. Blue line means resistance. Blue line means resistance. Sometimes resistance, you can make always make new ones. It's like when the stock pulled back, see, it did broke out from, it did close above the high of that candle here, and then we went up, and then came back down. So if it was strong, it should not have been closed below the low of that candle. This one, it should not close below it. So it did close below it. Now, in my opinion, it's 3 days below the 8. So if you got in, let's say you bought it here, I should take, since it did this and it went up, so I wish I would take some of my shares off, like 50% or something, because you don't want it to close below that, like this, like that. It's acting weak. In my book, it's acting weak. It should not stay below the 8. If it's strong, it should not. See, but overall, it's still bullish, like the long term. Because if you look at the weekly, see, still everything's still above that the 8 on the weekly. So everything's good. But short term here, it might be digesting for a bit. Every time we close below the 8 for 2 days, 3 days now, that's a flag that stock doesn't want to continue up higher at this moment, like in the next couple of days at least. That's how you should interpret. In my book, give you an example. See, in OMD, I bought it here, and then it stayed above the 8 for a couple days, and then after that it stayed 1, 2. So when it did that, when it closed below the 8 for 2 days, I got out. Because this is how you ask yourself, like, so I bought the stock, so it should go up, not staying below here. It's a risk management thing. That's how you manage your stock. You bought it, it should do what it's supposed to do, not go down. So I already got out here, and the next day it broke below, so it came back. So I was thinking it's gonna break from here, and it did again, close below the 8 here that day. Now it's in this one, close again, third day. So see, 1, 2, 3, we closed below the 8. So it means that you just digesting, you don't want to go up. And then after that, it just went down again. So it gives you an idea, if the stock should go up or not. If it's acting well, if it's strong enough to stay above the 8 exponential moving average, it's good. You can keep it. If it start acting weak, you just exit. You don't want to. If you have 8% stop loss, might as well just take 3% stop loss, or 3% loss, or break even better. I think that 8, I found the 8, it's better. It tells you, like, how the stock is acting. I would rather take exit the stock and not take a loss. So if you have a choice, I would rather get out early. Let's say for example, I got out here, right, or second day, so it closed below the 8, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and I decided to exit here. So I would rather get my money out, get out of the stock, and then if it goes back up, then I'll buy it again. So I would rather exit with a small loss or break even than wait for it to come back all the way down here and then having a loss and Now I'm stuck. Now I don't know what to do. That's the advantage of that 8. That's for me. Just this is what I. That's the conclusion I came out with from looking at mini stocks. And you always, like I said yesterday, always want to keep in mind that the stock always can come back, just like DAR. Here, see, it broke, and then it went up, was acting good, and then it started breaking below it. Now here, that's a red flag. Just get out, exit, because you're supposed to react on what the market's doing. So the market will do this, and then you do that. So here, it give you a red flag, you exit, or at least take some off. Here, probably your exit already out. Or if you put a stop loss here, you probably still in, or probably you might get out maybe with that dip, that tiny dip here. And then you look for pivot point that you say, okay, if it start closing above this, then I'll buy it again. You can even do this. You know, a good entry could be this day or even that day. That's okay. And then you'll catch again another move higher. It's all about managing the stock and managing the risk. You want the lowest risk possible. It takes time to with the emotions. It takes time, man. It takes time to manage to master. Like, oh, should I get in? Should I get out? So if you ever have it, if you have a choice one day, like which way should I exit the stock? Or yeah, exit the stock if you think it's not correct. Exit it. If it goes back up, you buy it again. It's easy to say, but at the time of the trade, you kind of like almost confused or just like, oh no, I don't wanna get out. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, that will probably might go down, but if you have a position in it, you know, I mean, I would have take some off. Definitely take some off because you have a good move from 35 to 45. You should already took some profit off from here, and then I think he had a gap here, so that's it's filling the gap. Always wanna Now check this out. Now look at the angle of this of this channel. Let me take this stuff off. It will be better. See, check out, look at the channel. Channel is doing fine, all good, and all of a sudden we started taking a different angle. Now we're going up like that. So that, I think that this resistance here, this blue line here, should act as a resistance now. See, now here it went up a little fast. See, it went up a little fast. Like it's almost like not sustainable. So I would, yeah, definitely would take some profit off. You don't want it to come down here and be like, oh man, I lost 4 points. That's a lot. I would rather even exit the whole position here than let it come down here and then wait for it. Yeah, do what's in front of you now, not what's gonna happen in the future. If you start predicting what's gonna happen, nobody knows what's gonna happen. Stock gives you money, take it. It's okay. Rather take 20% than take a loss. Majority of people, they wanna take the whole move. Yeah, probably with experience you might do that. If you take, like, if you divide the position to 4 or 3 and you take some off and then you leave the rest until it does something like breaking below the 50. You always want to look at the stock with different angles, different tools, because things are changing. You can't just apply one rule to all the stocks, you know. Same thing with Peloton. I think we talked about this. See the angles. Look at the channel. Resistance here. Oh, gotta refresh it. So you had a resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, and then here again. And then we broke it, we went all the way up. Now we got out of that channel. Now we went a little bit steeper. I always want to have like a fresh eye from looking at the same chart. But looking at the weekly doesn't look bad. See, it's just a steep going up like that. You know, overall it's still looking good. It can still come all the way to 107. See, 107. So 107 is really down here, all the way down here, and it can still be fine. Matter of fact, it can come down all the way down here. 100. It will still be fine, but by the time you will be breaking below the 21, so you might want to give it some time to digest. See, another thing, if you go to if you go to if you go to finviz.com and you hit group tab, it will tell you which sectors for the last week, what sector was active, or industry. See, for the whole week we had communication services. Communication services was pretty good. Energy as well. So you may want to go there and then start looking for stocks. Communication service, you go to screen and then hit sectors, communication services. So we have 13 stocks. 13 stocks. Like for me, I will narrow it down. I want to be looking only at the stocks above, $20, over $20. We already went down down here. And I want to be looking at stocks that at least over 200,000 K volume per day. I want to be looking at stocks that trading above the 50 moving average. See, now we went from 13, only 3 pages. I can still narrow it down above the 200, above the 20, but we'll see. Let's see what we have here. Or you can go by the fundamentals and go like, okay, I want stocks that at least have over 25% EPS growth this year, or quarter, or even sales quarter to quarter. You can do all that. See, we can go. Let's do above the 200 moving average. Now we are in 4 pages. And let's see, let's look at the best ones first. Oh, we have only 2 now. Now we have Zoom, SE, C2LEO. And you want to start looking for stocks, looking for tight setups, tight price action, something like Nike, for example. Nike. Look at the price action. How is it going up here? So you have like a shelf, like a circled cup, and a tiny cup here too. And look at the volume drying. That's what you want to be. That's what you want to see. So that's what you're looking for on and let's see if we can find something here. Roku group. What else? Some of them are breaking down already. Acting weak. Let's look at IAC. 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 When I first look at the chart, I look at to see at least the weekly or the monthly, see what I'm at, like overall picture. What am I looking? Stock bullish, above moving average, below moving average. All of them. And then I go, okay, they are all above the moving average. Then I move on to the, we have like almost this flag here. And then move into the weekly, same thing. We're just in no man's land. We just like, this is how you like look at the stocks. This is how I analyze it. See what's happening. We have earnings coming up on the 28th, so that'll be next Wednesday. And going from there, so it's bullish. Even on the weekly, it's above the 8, so that's a good sign. It's bullish, even though it's digesting. And you start looking for entry. And if you look at here, almost like a cup and a handle here. Probably we'll have some volume down here on this day. And I'm looking at this as a resistance. The high, that breakdown candle. He's the second one. 129. Let's say 130. 129.64. Stocks on a higher price a little bit. I want to give him more room. So I mean 129.64. I'll say like 130. So when closing above 130, that's the first sign that this stock wants to move higher. You know, and you want to give it some room below here. But for me, I'll say start breaking down, start closing below the low that candle. That's a weakness sign. So, like I said, I don't like to get in the stock when you have earnings coming up. So, yep. Let's see. Spotify is good. Talked about Spotify back when I saw it consolidating here. Somebody asked me about Spotify and I mentioned it. I said it did have a resistance on this 50 moving average. See how the moving average coming down here? See how it did touch it with this reversal candle. So it did act like as a resistance, and we hovered right above here. And if you can see, let's see, we had like almost like we went sideways here. Let me zoom in so you can see it. So we have almost like a flagpole here. We went sideways and then we broke out. We came back, retest that. A to B, so we have E down here, B here, C here, D. See? Doesn't. I know when the resistance is. Once you have that move like goes like boom, boom, boom. Once the stock keeps powering higher, you follow it back, and you know where did it started. So it started from here because he had digestion here. So it started from here. We went up and then it came down. So if I look at the hourly, see, look here, we had a digestion here. 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then we powered higher. We came back down and then powered back higher. We had a resistance here, and then boom, off to the races. That's if you want to trace where all that power came from, you know. That's where you want to digest the chart on different time frames. Now that's gonna act as a resistance, right top. Spotify got earnings coming up next week, so that's how I look at charts. What else? Roku. Let's look at Roku. Roku. Look at it on. I think it's bullish. I've seen this before. Look at that move from the breakout, 176 all the way up here. So I wouldn't chase it here. Yeah, I wouldn't chase it. It's in no man's land. At this time, I think if you already have possession, you should be taking some profit off and then leave the rest do its thing. Let the chart tell you what it wants to do. You have a gap. You haven't even filled it yet. So What else? Let's move on to the next match. MTCH looking bullish. Earnings still out of, it's on the 5th. Weekly. Very good. About to break out. I like smooth charts. I don't like them when they do this. See, I just, not my favorite. Not my favorite. Even though stock looks bullish, but not my favorite charts. What else? That's it. So what's in that sector group? So we had communication service, we just looked at, we got energy, and we got financials. We know financial stocks, they don't move that as good, as powerful as the growth stocks. For the whole month we had communication service again, consumer cyclical, and utilities. So you do the same thing. You wanna go to one of these sectors and start looking for stocks. Look out for the best ones. Communication services. Yeah, let's go. I think that's, is it the one we just looked at? I think it's a different one. Oh, it's the same one. Yeah. Let's look at consumer cyclical. I think that's the thing we didn't, what's the sector we didn't look at? How many pages we have? 17. Let's reduce that down. Price, technicals. Price has to be above the 50. Okay. We're still in 14. We want stocks above the 20. We have 12 pages. Like I said, you can, let's look at descriptive stocks above. If you have too many, you can still look at the fundamentals. And let's say EPS growth the whole year was over 25%. Now we're down to 4. Or you could do sales. Let's just look at this first. I was looking at GRWG. It's making a move. I'm not in it. I don't have any position. GRWG, because it was a monster move back here. Yeah, it's making a move, man. Earnings coming up on the 11th. I always look for that price tight action. That's what I'm drawing right now too. Let's look at it before. See how that price action here? Price action got tighter. You went down first. Let's take this one off. So we were going down. We broke below the 21. We had a resistance here. A high from this point. We went down. So you're thinking once we start closing below here, it's not gonna below here, below the 50 will be bad. And the stock did something different. We broke out and then he went sideways. So that should grab your attention there. But look at the volume. Volume was drying too. So those two things should grab your attention. Okay, the stock doesn't want to break below down the 50 and go down here. Stock is still acting up, holding, so there is no sellers. And then you start breaking down. You can initiate a position right there. Put a quite tight stop loss right below here, or even that. Put a 50% of your position there. You might probably have exited maybe here. It depends on where you stop at. Here or here. And then you can, once it broke again, you can buy again. You don't want to hold it. And then from there, boom. Man, that's very powerful. That's the discipline actually. I was struggling. I'm still have some problems with it. I'm still not there 100%, but it's when you buy it, you expect it to go higher. Sometimes they will mess you up. They will trick you, you know. But you just want to follow the price action. Forget the noise, and you want to see what's happening. Don't worry about the news here or anything like that. See, and then see you buy it here. Even though I don't like buying in large candles, but sometimes they don't give you no chance to pull back so you can get them at a cheaper price. You know, that's why you want. If you're afraid, sometimes you want to initiate half position, or even less than that. See now, price start getting tight. Start getting that higher lows. That's not a good sign there. But we claim it back. And then boom. You want to see volume coming up. Yep, we do have volume. Now, so many sellers going to be up here watching that level of $23. So it depends what you initiate the possession. Is it when it was down here, or you just bought it here or here? It depends. You want to be selling some into strength here. Might close this soon. Last time see. I want to see if I'm having trouble with the stream. Let's all right, any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Let's look at PLNT. Let's look at the chart monthly, and then weekly. That's the high that candle that attract my attention. Weekly bullish setup. I see you got resistance right in there. I don't see any entry point here. Nothing interesting. Then what else? What sector we should be looking at? Let's do some sales. Let's look at Neo. Neo in no man's land, digesting. No entry point here whatsoever in my book. Nothing again. I looked at energy the other day. Technology. DQ. VLR, it's holding pretty good. Didn't crash like the rest. Team is retesting. GDS. TSM is getting tight. I like it. I have a position. TSM. Q2. Let's look at Q2. Cup on the handle. Be watching that level. 99. $99 level. Breaking above it and closing above it. It's pretty good. As of right now, we just retesting this previous resistance here in the blue line. Closing below it, below that, that's gonna be bearish. What else? That's it. Healthcare. Let's look at fundamentals and take this off. EPS growth this year over 25. BLFS. ENSG. Somebody asked me about ENSG. I think it has earning coming up soon. Yeah, many stocks preparing to break out. See here, we just been digesting all this time. We're just going sideways. Sideways. See, you get a clear picture when you zoom out and you look at it in the weekly. And we've been digesting for more than 6 weeks. It doesn't mean it has a flag that means it wants to go higher. That's not true. You can always release that energy to the downside. Depends on how the investors reacting to the earnings. Always have that flexible mind, and it can have good or bad reaction. Let's look at ST. Good, bullish. Look at the volume drawing. That's a good sign of the bullishness of the stock. Beautiful consolidation here. See it? You got this bar candle here. It was challenging the high of the high of that red candle, and it was getting energy, getting tight, and then it broke out, and then boom, off to the races. So it was a good breakout, a good entry here. 21. What else? What sector again we should look at? Healthcare, basic material. Let's look at industrial. Industrial. Nothing appealing. Energy. Not so much. Reggie actually was a good stock back then here. I was watching it, but I never traded it. I don't like them when they go fast like that. I like some tight action here before they break. You know? Sometimes you're not gonna find it the way you like it. Look for a different opportunity. A breakout here, and then he pulled back for 2 days. So that was a good entry here for this day. Stop loss right below here. Another breakout here. Still bullish as long as it doesn't close below that low. We had a move from 32 to what, 64. That's quite a move. Energy stock, financials are kind of slow movers. Yeah, I was watching LPRO. It's pretty good. Breakout, move sideways. You just don't want it to close below the 8. 27.19, 2 cents or 3 cents. 4 cents below the, it's not, I wouldn't call that really close below, but look how the volume is drying comparing to that volume here. So nothing appealing. Let's see the IWM. Index IWM. So far so good. It's just eating time off the clock. Getting ready to move higher. You don't want to close below there. That's it, definitely. No. Building energy right below that gap. Looking at it at weekly. See, we're just moving sideways for 2 weeks now. I call that bullish. We'll see after the election, so if you guys have any questions, you can always ask me. You can throw a stock, you can comment. We'll look it up together, or an index or ETF. PFSI. What do you think? We already had a move quite from here. $43 all the way to 66. We got a breakdown on the 8-1 to, and then we broke heavily with heavy volume the 21. Look at that volume. Not a good thing to, not a good time to get into the stock, definitely. Yeah. Stock moved quite a bit, so at this time right now, if I had the stock, I would leave my last portion on it until it breaks the 50. I would have been taking profit along the way. 50, yeah, I would have taken my profit. Like if I got in here, this is a good entry. You got first one here. You missed that, you get in here, take some profit here, and then live some off. Now it's still holding the 50. Didn't break below the 50. Yeah. On the weekly, 58, barely closed below the 8 moving average on the weekly. So I mean, you want to be careful. Plus earnings coming up next week too, so sometimes like you will notice that the stock will start breaking down even if they have good earnings. You'll be asking yourself like, why the stock like still breaking down to 50 on the daily, and it's still they still report good earnings. Well, they're not gonna break down and start selling until they start having bad earnings. Sometimes they'll start getting crushed right below. I mean, once while they're still having good earnings. So what's futures opened a little bit lower. 6 o'clock Eastern time. Last time I looked at the future, that was a while ago. If you look at it here, if you go to investing.com, I already drew something. So it charts. Make this bigger. So what I did last time is, see, this is what I did. And he talked about it when it was still from here, when it was breaking out on this area, and I said, and I drew this, and I said, well, you got this green line it's going to act as a resistance, and I drew it. So I had this support with this red dot here, 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 and here, and then we get a resistance here. And then actually that's what happened. I mean, it didn't get it did came back. It failed and it run right back all the way to it. See? Right back to it. And that resistance act again as a support. See what's happening? So now you have this trend line. This trend line is acting as as a resistance. See, just futures just opened a little bit lower, but until we start closing below here, then you might see some lower prices. Until then, it's not. We just have to digest this move that we went from all lower here all the way up here. So and I'm looking at the chart on an hourly basis though. Looking at it on a 4 hour. Let's see. I like 1 hour and a 4 hour. See how the pictures get clear when you look at zoom out. See, we had a resistance here. Red dots 1, 2, 3. We broke it here. Came back to it once, twice. Sometimes the index or the stock will blow below that and then it will reverse, just like what happened here. That doesn't mean that resistance doesn't, it's not valid no more. It just, that's how it is. So now that will be on the futures, what, 28 370 give or take. That will be your first resistance. And then we start closing above it. Now your next one is going to be right up here. Nice reversal candle though, this green candle here. Still bullish overall. Yeah. Dog. What else? TR. I'm gonna post this live stream later. If you guys wanna tell me what time you guys will be available, so I can fix time, so we can see what's available for me, what's good for you on the weekend, so we can discuss charts, can exchange ideas, and see what's good for everybody. late at night or a little early. So you guys leave it in the comment below. If you guys have any questions, you can, or a stock you want me to look at, you can comment below. I'll be glad to look at it. As I mentioned before, this is I just started streaming yesterday, so I didn't see many people who were there available, probably because of the time everybody's different. So if you guys can, like I said before, I'll just put in the comment what time you guys should be meeting on the weekend. Either Saturday or Sunday. I'll see what's available so we can put a time, fixed time, so we can be so everybody can benefit from this live stream. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up, and I'll see you next time.